Welcome to another round of Charleston Battery Weekly here with OSG Sports and SDH Networks. Time to take a bit of a tour, go backwards and go forwards here in Group H. A block is going to always be our catching up with Mike Kelleher, and there is some news that has come out of Group F, which is part of the reason that there is an off week unintentionally for the Charleston Battery this week. Angelo Kelly will be in player spotlight coming up around the corner. But the big news, Loudoun United has canceled the rest of their matches this season. Two of them in Group F, the one this weekend in Group H that was scheduled, they've now been officially canceled. Stephen Goff of the Washington Post reported that first on Friday afternoon. And so now we await the repercussions. Obviously, the Board of Governors initially said that it would come down to a points per game determination if full schedules were not adhered to for one reason or another. So now we wait and figure out what the situation is going to be for Tampa Bay and for the Charleston Battery when it comes to the top of Group H. So we'll keep an eye on that as the season goes along, as the week goes along, and see if we have any answers. And when we do, obviously, we'll pass them along to you. Mike Kelleher coming up just around the corner. Angelo Kelly, your player spotlight. It's another round of Charleston Battery Weekly. And stick and stay. We'll be right back.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, contact my friend Steve Apolinski of Apolinski and Associates. He's been representing individuals for over 30 years throughout Georgia and Alabama. Email him at steve@aa-legal.com or call him 24/7 at 404-377-9191. The initial consultation is free.
We know that every driver is different, and a one-size policy does not fit all. That's why Country Financial offers a variety of discounts, so you get the coverage you need and the savings you deserve. From good driver to good student, multi-policy to multi-car, we've got a discount to suit every driver. Call Jason Wright at 678-568-6871 today to see what you could save. On Facebook at Jason Wright Agency or by phone at 678-568-6871. Discounts vary by state. Policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, or Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, contact my friend Steve Apolinski of Apolinski and Associates. He's been representing individuals for over 30 years throughout Georgia and Alabama. Email him at steve@aa-legal.com or call him 24/7 at 404-377-9191. The initial consultation is free.
We know that every driver is different, and a one-size policy does not fit all. That's why Country Financial offers a variety of discounts, so you get the coverage you need and the savings you deserve. From good driver to good student, multi-policy to multi-car, we've got a discount to suit every driver. Call Jason Wright at 678-568-6871 today to see what you could save. On Facebook at Jason Wright Agency or by phone at 678-568-6871. Discounts vary by state. Policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, or Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Welcome back. Time for Special K. Mike Kelleher hangs out with us here in the A block. As always, it's good to hear you and good to see you.
Good to see you too, John.
All right. So let's go back before we go forward. Once again, it was Team Chaos, the Miami FC going at it, and you come out with a 2-0 win.
Yeah, again, another good performance by the team and some momentum going. We've talked about that the last few weeks, but a great performance, a good couple of goals in the first half, and pleased to get the 3 points.
How, when you're up 2-0, obviously going up against a team that can really turn things on a dime like the Miami FC can, you've really got to stay in control in that final 45, and Augie's boys did that to get you full points.
No, I think I mentioned the term last week, a professional performance, and we're seeing that week after week now, and although we didn't get any more goals in the second half, that Miami rarely threatened, and there was a number of substitutions that probably affected the game, and we continued to see it out, and we're very comfortable for the 3 points at the end of the day.
And obviously right now it's matches in hand, and we'll get into matches in hand in a second, but it is, as always, it's you and Tampa. It's 2 groups of 2 right now in Group H, with you and Tampa Bay up top and Atlanta United 2 and the Miami FC down at the bottom. But once again, this is going to be a sprint. And why does my gut tell me, or I forget what Magnum PI used to do, the little voice in his head, that it's going to be that last game on decision day that's going to decide pretty much everything.
It's looking that way, and it's almost like its own penalty shootout now. We've taken and scored, and they took before us and scored, and now it's over to them now. They've got the ball, and they're going to take their penalty Saturday night, and us again Wednesday before as you say, the season finale, the way it's looking.
And the way things were shaken out, it was supposed to be a match against Loudoun coming up this weekend, but obviously life in the time of COVID, that one has been postponed, and that will create some issues on its own.
Yeah, we took a call. I took a call late Monday evening to say that there were some issues with Loudoun, and we're all. It could have been any of us during the course of this season, the way things are, and their doctors had advised them to close down the training ground and close down. They weren't obviously going to be able to travel to us. So once you get medical advice, it's very difficult to say otherwise. To say we want you to come, or we want to enforce the league to make you come. It's in the interest of the health and safety of the players, and we've talked about this before in terms of our fans, our players, our staff, and so that game then obviously will not go ahead Saturday. And whether or not it gets played again, we're not sure. The sporting integrity. We want a free week leading into the playoffs. We're obviously coming off of a tough trip to Florida, but we're waiting to hear from the league, and we're hopefully going to get some finality to it before Saturday, before Tampa play again.
I was going to say, because you want to make sure that you're at full rest. You want to make sure that you're at full song, but you're at the mercy. You're at the mercy of health and safety officials, and making sure that A, Loudoun is okay, B, everything is okay when it comes to making sure that the schedule is all lined up. You've got a bunch of different things that you've got to juggle here. Yeah,
and the league have been excellent to work with. I have to say that. We've spoken to them at length. We've had full dialogue with them and Loudoun for that matter. And I think everyone understands the situation that we're all in, and hopefully, whatever the outcome may be, the integrity of the competition isn't affected.
Mike Kelleher hanging out with us here for his weekly dose of Special K here on Charleston Battery Weekly. Now, what do you do with the players now? There's a weekend where, is everybody going to be kind of in their Zoom meetings watching the Tampa Bay game? How do you keep them from getting too idle on a weekend that's turned into one where they're not going to be active?
Yeah, that's a fair point. And the coaches, they were onto it straight away. Obviously, we've arranged an in-house scrimmage, if you like, inter-squad friendly, that we'll play in the stadium on Saturday in order to keep the players ticking over. And obviously, we don't want any injuries or anything like that. But at the same time, we want to keep the players' minds on Wednesday night, which will soon come around, and keep them ticking over as if they were to be playing in a game on Saturday.
And at the same time, I think that when you do something like that, once again, you're challenging the players, and sometimes some of the best challenges can be against yourself. And I mean that in the collective sense, where you're going up against the guys in practice, and then you have this scrimmage idea where you really can sit there and continue to be sharp. But this time it just happens to be against guys that you're going out there and having a battle with as one group. Now you're going up against each other. It's an interesting idea.
Yeah, but no different to every day in training. There's a competitive element to training, and the players are obviously very familiar with each other. But I think just to put it into that game setting, 11 aside and inside the stadium, we'll give it another element, another angle, if you like.
All right. With the benefit of the win against the Miami FC, postseason for the 13th year in a row. How cool is that?
Yeah, remarkable. Many of the teams in our league haven't been in existence that long, let alone qualify for the playoffs. So we're, incredible achievement. Again, Mike Anhauser, we mention him every week. It's I think he should be getting the credits that he does, and should be getting more maybe, because he's done an incredible job over the time he's been with the club, and to continue this on is incredible. So particularly the year we've had, and particularly the set of circumstances leading into this season. So no, he's done a fantastic job.
When you look at, obviously there are teams that are now clinching postseason berths, and you're getting the separations below playoff bars and above playoff bars and things like that. When you look at those teams outside of Group H that are clinching berths in the USL this year, when you look at, let's just take it from the East, considering that's kind of our bailiwick here. It's just when you look at the other teams in the East that have made it in, what do you see in teams like Pittsburgh and Hartford and things like that?
Yeah, and look, I think I don't know if Mike looks at it, that Mike Anhauser looks at it that much as well. We haven't looked too much outside of our group before. You look at who you're playing next. We've seen North Carolina. We've got an eye on, I guess, Birmingham, North Carolina, Charlotte, because that's one of those three will be our opponent, on October the 10th that weekend. So, and then we know again it might be, if we're fortunate enough to progress, it might be Tampa again. So you're really not looking beyond those 8 teams at the very least, or those 3 teams and Tampa at the very least right now, and what else is going on. But yeah, Pittsburgh seems to have had another good season, and if we get that far, we'll be fortunate. There'll be plenty of footage to look at, and a week at least to take a look at those other teams. So only as good as the next game, as they say, or your last game, next game, whatever it may be.
Nothing like checking out Group H and making sure that you're in with the task at hand. And when it comes to all of this, let me ask you about a team like Tampa Bay specifically. It's 2 teams that are independent sides, and you have veteran influence as well as the young guys that come through. Playing as much as you do in a season like this, are there any secrets? Are they figured out? Is it, because you're going to sit there, and I know that you're watching the same tape and you're looking at the same things. Are you able to pick up anything differently, or is it pretty much, we know what they are, they know what we are, we're just going to go out and we've had the best of them so far? I mean, what's it like to continue to have this cycle where you're staring at the same book almost?
I think it's unprecedented, to be honest. I mean, I think it'd be hard to remember a time, if we do get to play them for a 5th time, there's very, very few in I'm trying to think of leagues around the world. Scotland has played, Rangers and Celtic will probably play each other 6 times in a season in the cup competitions. But it's I don't think we've done that. Certainly not in my time. We played a team 4 times, 5 times in a season. So it's unprecedented. And the players know each other out. If you're the right back or left back, you're playing up against you. It's probably 3 out of the 4 times it's been the same play. And Mike tries to tweak things a little bit, and 1 or 2 players may be different, but I think they will know each other come next Saturday and a week on Saturday and maybe a couple of weeks after that. So it's about a little bit of luck at that stage and who's up for it on the day.
So are you going to be sitting in front of the largest television you can find watching Tampa Bay this weekend? How are you going to play it?
Yeah, no, I think we'll take a look. Yeah, we'll have the game on and see if they can get their win and see how that affects things. Like I said, hopefully we'll know how the Loudoun postponement will affect the outcome of the 1 and 2 standing, if at all, and see how Tampa go on Saturday. Yeah, definitely be watching it.
Player spotlight this week's Angelo Kelly. When I mention Angelo Kelly, what comes to mind?
I've got to know Angelo quite well over the last couple of years. We've actually coached together as well at youth soccer a couple of years ago, and a great personality, tenacious player on the pitch. Probably an unsung hero, if you like, of the team. Rarely takes the plaudits, but is we all look at Robbie Crawford, but Angelo has been just as much as a box-to-box midfielder this season and much of our success this season. So, no, he's done incredibly well. A great young man, and he deserves his spot in the team every week. A great player that we're pleased to be at the Charleston Battery.
Unintentional off week this week because of COVID-19. No matchup against Loudoun when that comes through. Obviously, pay attention to all the social media platforms to get the announcements about when that's going to come back up. Mike, as always, thanks for hanging out with us for another round of Special K. Enjoy West Ham this weekend. I know it might be a little tough. Enjoy Tampa Bay this weekend. That might be a little tough. We'll catch up with you next week.
Thanks, John. Much appreciated.
When we come back, Player Spotlight, as promised, Angelo Kelly just around the corner. You're listening to Charleston Battery Weekly. OSG Sports SDH Networks will be right back after this.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, contact my friend Steve Apolinski of Apolinski and Associates. He's been representing individuals for over 30 years throughout Georgia and Alabama. Email him at steve@aa-legal.com or call him 24/7 at 404-377-9191. The initial consultation is free.
We know that every driver is different, and a one-size policy does not fit all. That's why Country Financial offers a variety of discounts, so you get the coverage you need and the savings you deserve. From good driver to good student, multi-policy to multi-car, we've got a discount to suit every driver. Call Jason Wright at 678-568-6871 today to see what you could save. On Facebook at Jason Wright Agency or by phone at 678-568-6871. Discounts vary by state. Policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, or Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, contact my friend Steve Apolinsky of Apolinsky and Associates. He's been representing individuals for over 30 years throughout Georgia and Alabama. Email him at steve@aa-legal.com or call him 24/7 at 404-377-9191. The initial consultation is free.
We know that every driver is different, and a one-size policy does not fit all. That's why Country Financial offers a variety of discounts, so you get the coverage you need and the savings you deserve. From good driver to good student, multi-policy to multi-car, we've got a discount to suit every driver. Call Jason Wright at 678-568-6871 today to see what you could save. On Facebook at Jason Wright Agency or by phone at 678-568-6871. Discounts vary by state. Policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, or Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Time for Player Spotlight now with Charleston Battery Weekly. And as always, it's good to catch up with Angelo Kelly. Angelo, good to catch up with you this season. And I know that we're doing things a little differently, a little detached, but good to see you too as well. Thanks for hanging out.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks you for having me, for sure.
All right. So let's get into this season and what it's been like for you, specifically because USL Championship gets to the start. Then you get the big layoff, and you're having to make sure that you're still in as best shape as possible for this sprint that is now a run-in. What's the season been like?
Yeah, so far it's been, like a roller coaster, just with all this virus been going on. But, but the main focus we're here is to play as far as, we all know. So we come here to play and be prepared. But for me personally, it's been a good season, despite cutting the season into half. So, all that four-month laid off that we had on top of another 3-month extra, it just felt so long, and, builds all the tension between. It's like you just want to play. And, once we got here playing, it just felt more like a relief and just get back to doing what we're doing best, just playing and enjoying our successful season so far, with 2 games less. We're just excited to finish strong and, go from there, from playoffs, and we'll see how it goes.
How did you keep your sanity during the break? Because I know a lot of time it's quarantine, you have to stay by yourself. How did you keep your sanity in all this?
Yes, during quarantine time, I sometimes I play video games here and there, but for the most part, I would try to just do a lot of outdoor activities. So meaning I will go run, work out, try to stay in shape, have some exercise bands as well, just change out the workout instead of just running like a madman, but for the most part, I'll just be entertaining myself, sometimes, read a little bit about investment, here and there that I start up, change something up. And, since I stay with my suite mates over here, we sometimes would just talk, chill, or just, work out together, the same thing, just chat all night sometimes, so.
Well, so you mentioned video games. Who on the team is the best video game player? I imagine we're talking FIFA here, but who's the best video game player and who's the one that needs the most work?
Oof. If I had to kick a big guess, I'll be surprised by the answer, but I'm not much of a FIFA player. I like to play more Call of Duty, first person.
All right, so then let's go to Call of Duty. So then who do you go up against in Call of Duty? Anybody on the team?
Honestly, from what I heard, I would say probably Deshaun.
Okay.
Deshaun.
So who needs the most work when it comes to video games in general?
I would say Jared Van Shake.
All right, so what's it like? And obviously you got suite mates and things like that. So what's it like going up against somebody in a video game and then having to face them out there on the practice field? What's that like? Is there any kind of smack running that happens there too?
Not so much. It's more sometimes it feels like, just chatting him up is why you ran that way. It's just, why you done that. It's why didn't you do this? Money, why didn't you give me the money in the video game? Stuff like that. It's why? What were you doing? It's sometimes, just stuff like that. Just, something to pick on and stuff like that. So it's much different, but, when it comes to soccer, it's soccer,
No,
so.
Absolutely. When it comes to getting back, obviously Group H right now, let's go back to last weekend. Going up against a team like the Miami FC, it's a team that seems to thrive on chaos a lot. They want to try to create transitional opportunities and short fields for themselves and things like that. What, from your perspective, do you remember the most about going up against Miami last weekend?
Yeah, I think, this, like, going against Miami last week, it just kind of like, for us, it was just, we have to win. We have to keep doing what we're doing. But for them, I think they were a team to where, like, they have nothing to lose. So we knew they always exposed themselves to certain little things, transitioning, defending. But we felt like this game could have been like a little bit, if we let the game go on as 0-0, we felt like it was going to be more beneficial for them because they will thrive. They need the points. So people who don't have nothing to lose, tend to be a little bit dangerous in a certain aspect. So we kind of we felt like we had to score right away. So we applied pressure right away, and we capitalized in the mistakes. And at the same time, they're still a good side. Just this first time in the transition into the USL League. So it takes some time to build up. Chemistry for them players and move on. And perhaps next year will be a different team. So. And plus, you got kids playing for contracts too, so they had the intensity level for them has to be higher. So, but for us, we got to keep doing what we're doing and, just keep stepping on the gas and just keep going forward.
And it was interesting that you get the 2 goals on the board, and then pretty much you just kind of clamp down on them defensively in the second 45. What was it like to have an offensive half where you did what you felt like you needed to do, you get 2 goals on the board, and then you flip the script a little bit and you have a very defensive second half where you kept them from getting back in the game? It was almost like 2 separate games out there.
Yeah, I think, sometimes maybe, sometimes we have that tendency to where we do something, but it feels like it's enough for us. So something is that I feel like personally we have to sometimes, just finish the game off, just, how would they say, step on their throat, just kill them off, kill their momentum, everything off. Because, 2-0 lead is a very dangerous lead for anybody in the sport. If anybody knows soccer, it's like they score 1 goal and, they get that momentum back and they just keep going. And we're all of a sudden, are back against the wall. But for us, I think, we felt like we did enough, so we kind of just sit back and absorb, try to get them on the counter. But, sometimes, so far, nobody has caught us, but sometimes I feel like we have to be a little bit more ruthless, especially in games like that. We have to just keep pushing forward, score perhaps 1 more goal, and, coming back from a 3-0, it's a lot tougher than a 2-0, So I feel like we could have been more ruthless, but, at the end of the day, it turned out our way. We kept a clean sheet, and we end up winning. So,
what's it like to make the playoffs? I know you haven't been here for 13 straight seasons, but what's it like to make the playoffs again for the Battery? Something that is part of the fabric of the Battery, making the postseason. You make it again.
Yeah, it's a good feeling, because it's something you look forward beyond the regular season. So it's not like college or something like that where, like, all right, if you don't make playoffs, you still got your last game, but it's not really worth much. But now for us, we still got something to play for. We're still in a good position to where we can get first in our group stage as well. So even though we're winning our games, we still got to win our last 2 more games in order to get first or second to decide whether the group stage is first or second. But making playoffs is a good feeling, it gives us something forward, and from there, this is what we're here for, trying to win a championship, and that's the starting point for us. So, just all this season, just building momentum towards that last 1 game, and then going from there.
With Loudoun United, that game being canceled coming into this weekend, how do you guys, you're amped up, you're practicing, you're getting ready for, and now that game isn't going to happen, you have your 2 after this to finish up your schedule. How do you guys handle basically what's now a weekend where you don't have a game? What are you guys going to do? You're going to watch Tampa Bay? You're just going to kind of chill? What are you going to do here?
We're gonna have another intermediate squad between each other, stuff. So keep the intensity high, treat it like a game, get our match fitness still going tomorrow. So we basically, it's it's unfortunate for us, not be able to play another game, but at the same time, it's good to get the resting before we go on to travel in the last two away games for us. So in a way, it's a good, but the same thing is, it could be possibly an issue point wise at the end. But that's not for us to worry. For players, we only worry about playing, and so we just try to prepare for Miami and Tampa for the next week.
Angelo Kelly hanging out with us here for another couple of minutes here on Battery Weekly, and you mentioned the run-in and everything. You had a couple of chances to have fans at Patriots Point this year. I know it wasn't the full house like everyone would like in these situations, but what was it like to have those fans there, no matter how small they were? And we know what the regiment means and the fan base mean. Well, what was it like to have those fans and to hear that feedback at Patriots Point?
Yes. I think it was very, very. How would I describe it? It was very filling in a way, just because in the first few games that we had, it was just more like echo. Hearing your own voice, you shout at your teammate, you can hear it over there at the left, you can hear on the right. You can hear everybody. But now that you got fans, screaming for you and everything, it's a good atmosphere. It gives you that little extra energy, and sometimes when people are watching, you tend to play a little bit better. So, that way you don't give either the away fans something to, pick on you or something like that. So, it kind of makes you perform better, and, show them why they support you, and, perhaps attract new fans and stuff as well, so it's good to perform for them and everything. So.
Well, Angelo, keep it going. Have a good inter-squad scrimmage this weekend to kind of keep everybody up to levels of 10 and as match fit as humanly possible. I know that it's going to be a real sprint to the finish with those two matches that are left on the schedule. Thanks for hanging out with us here on the Weekly. As always, good to catch up. Good to see you. Be safe. Enjoy the scrimmage. Enjoy the rest of Group H this weekend. We'll catch up with you next time.
Thank you very much.
When we come back, we'll put a bow on a show. You're listening to Charleston Battery Weekly, OSG Sports, SDH Networks. We'll be right back after this.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, contact my friend Steve Apolensky of Apolensky and Associates. He's been representing individuals for over 30 years throughout Georgia and Alabama. Email him at steve@aa-legal.com or call him 24/7 at 404-377-9191. The initial consultation is free.
We know that every driver is different, and a one-size policy does not fit all. That's why Country Financial offers a variety of discounts, so you get the coverage you need and the savings you deserve. From good driver to good student, multi-policy to multi-car, we've got a discount to suit every driver. Call Jason Wright at 678-568-6871 today to see what you could save. On Facebook at Jason Wright Agency or by phone at 678-568-6871. Discounts vary by state. Policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, or Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
If you've been hurt in a car wreck, contact my friend Steve Apolensky of Apolensky and Associates. He's been representing individuals for over 30 years throughout Georgia and Alabama. Email him at steve@aa-legal.com or call him 24/7 at 404-377-9191. The initial consultation is free.
We know that every driver is different, and a one-size policy does not fit all. That's why Country Financial offers a variety of discounts, so you get the coverage you need and the savings you deserve. From good driver to good student, multi-policy to multi-car, we've got a discount to suit every driver. Call Jason Wright at 678-568-6871 today to see what you could save. On Facebook at Jason Wright Agency or by phone at 678-568-6871. Discounts vary by state. Policies issued by Country Mutual Insurance Company, Country Preferred Insurance Company, or Country Casualty Insurance Company, Bloomington, Illinois.
Time to put a bow on yet another show for Charleston Battery Weekly. Thanks to Mike Kelleher, thanks to Angelo Kelly, and thanks to you. Once again, enjoy the games in Group H. Enjoy the rest of the action in the USL Championship this weekend. Going to be a busy one. The sprint continues with only a couple matches left here in the 2020 season. Once again, thanks to all of you for hanging out and being a part of the show every single week. Play it safe, everybody. We'll see you next time.